Welcome to the first video in Hallo-week.
Or you know, that one time a year where this channel becomes the spooky equivalent of Watch Mojo, but with actual effort put into the content. Now, this isn't a list of top games in the horror genre, but more games made after the plots of or featuring characters from existing horror movies. With that out the way, let's get into this with number 5, which is all of the retro games. These are the games that paved the way for the future of horror games. Were they good? Not really. Can they all be summed up in a sentence? Pretty much, yeah. Texas Chainsaw Massacre on Atari. You stab a lot of people with your chainsaw, which straight up looks like a dick. And also there's a screaming sound effect that will literally make your ears bleed. Now for Halloween on Atari. Save the kids, don't get stabbed. Simple enough, right? Unfortunately, it's also plagued by some annoying sound design, where despite featuring a good version of the film's theme song, it starts and stops every single time Mike Myers enters the screen, which gets old after about, 10 seconds. Both of these games share the honor of being the only 2 games ever published by Wizard Video Games. I wonder why. Next up, we have Nightmare on Elm Street on the NES, where you run around punching snakes and bats, and collecting Freddie's bones. You know, an average weekend for any teenager. Finally, we have Friday the 13th on the NES, and this game's a bit of a mess. It's kind of renowned as one of the worst games ever made. Basically, you have to beat Jason 3 times in some sort of clunky Punch-Out style fight, before he manages to kill all the kids at the camp. Sadly, each of these films hasn't had an official video game since, meaning the biggest slasher franchises of all time are stuck with some pretty terrible one-off video games. And it seemed like things were always going to stay this way. At least until earlier this year. At number 4, we have Mortal Kombat 9. Now, Mortal Kombat has always been the bloodiest fighter, from ripping out spines to spitting acid on people, and even turning people into babies for some strange reason. This game isn't afraid of seeing the line, crossing it, and then dropping down to take a dump right on top of it. So it always made sense that it would be the perfect game for a horror character to debut in. Well, MK9 answered these fan dreams, or should I say, nightmares, by adding Freddy Krueger. And they did everything right. All his moves are about claws, his fatalities are all related to deaths in the movies, and they did an oddly good job of fitting him into the game's lore by creating a rivalry between him and Shao Kahn. At number 3, Alien Isolation. As far back as anyone can remember, there was always one thing humanity always wanted, and that was a good Alien game. In 2013, everyone thought that it was going to happen with Colonial Marines. Until the game actually came out. Yeah. It seemed like it was never going to happen. But just a year later, it actually did. A long story, working AI, one single alien? If playing the game itself wasn't fun enough for you, it came with a mountain of DLC, which mirrors specific parts of the original movie. I've played through Crew Expendable and Last Survivor, and I can happily say that I've never felt so uncomfortable in a game. It's about as comfortable as laying on a bed of nails looks. Also, this game won a BAFTA. Since when do games win BAFTAs? Is that even a thing? Apparently that's a thing. So, well done, Alien. Well done. At number 2, we have Mortal Kombat 10. If you can remember back a whole 2 minutes ago, to when I said that Mortal Kombat was the perfect game for a horror character to debut in, clearly someone up there agrees with me. So Mortal Kombat 10 decided to give us even more, with Jason and Predator. A year later, they decided to up their roster even more by adding in Leatherface and Alien.
Round 1. Fight!
And at number 1, because I'd rather give you all a treat than a trick this Hallow-week, I present to you Taradrom, a completely free fighting game featuring, well, everyone. You've got Jason, Freddie, Michael Myers, Leatherface, Ghostface, Candyman, Tallman, Ash Williams, Pinhead, Pumpkinhead, Matt Cordell, and Herbert West. This is surprisingly good for a free game, and as the site says itself, Taradrom is a dream come true for any fans of the horror genre and video games. Or with the inclusion of Freddie, I guess you could say, it's a nightmare come true, right? I made the same joke twice. Well, to sum it up, every sound effect is straight out of a movie, each character has their own stage and special attacks, and it has online multiplayer. So head down to the description below, and there's a link to their website where you can download and play this for yourself. What more could you really want?